No. And I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning. Anything else? Right.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over. 10-4, I know I already wrote it in a report, but it will stay on my desk for a few days. Over. Roger that, 10-10.
This is Precinct 57. Just a second. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you, officer. Yes, hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past. Don't go there again.
Oh.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours? Yes, you absolutely should. It's awful that you lost it.
Uniform? I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on. The disco things. Please, no. Not this again. You were trying to impress some people with it. You were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Oh, those again. I have been trying to wean you off them. You know, when you put your gun, your actual gun, on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out, off of that, people don't like that. I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall," painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brain. There is silence on the other end of the line.
No, please, no more suicide.
There are way more inventive ways than a gun.
Me neither. No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things. It almost looked like you pawned it. But believe me, I did not ask.
You hear the call breaking up.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 57's...
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad. Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. Kuno doesn't...
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins chest, a fading web of tattoos. The man before you is naked, but the fish lip.
I told you, he is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. You see the cobalt old. It leads to a. The door does not. The man ponders his.
Yes?
Again?
The woman before. You see a young man on a balcony. Nurse.
Not looking for any trouble, officer. There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view.
Is it really that important? All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run. My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice? I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too...
We will remove the
Oh. You were to ask...
Wait, is someone else investigating?
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more Muscular, gentleman.
Last week? I don't know. Look,
A downy blanket.
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, snow continues to pile on the neighboring windowsills.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and
Trash?
Please don't go.
Listen, I really have to. Good luck with the investigation.
He's gone. No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he could be a witness. Him or there has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check out the door near the pier again. Once we found a way in, we can ask around for his apartment.
Hello again.
A sturdy metal door. This could be a way into the apartment building the smoking.
Good. We had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business here.
You can't think of anything convincing. Time for some police brutality.
You don't scare me, punk. I may be an old woman, but I can still take the likes of you.
again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime Rem.
But the documents.
It's not going to be that easy. We need to...
An old East Delta Commerce Center.
Oh, look. It's the cop who turned me into a bad person. The smell of cigarettes. There's something odd about the passengers.
Low.
Lorry stuck in the windows. Fumes of heavy fuel.
Hola, Wandering Man. A cockatoo. This book talks about the delicate nature of twos as well as in.
Looking for some...
Rust in control. The water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your...
Rust peels off the bent iron post.
In this yard,
He's assessed.
someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. A black bloc, a part of the city left unrenovated after the war, or one that has fallen to gang violence.
On aerial photos, block obscures look like dark squares, hence their name.
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house. Yes, and you picked it up as part of the Jamrock Shuffle. We should move. I don't
Great news. The boat is big enough for a grown man like you to... I don't know. Sleeping? Huh?
Sarcastic self. I understand the situation.
You have a home. A banged up motor carriage. It must be cold. The seawater has... Remember the tire tracks in Martinez?
It appears to be so. I agree. We should...
You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid. The motor carriage is properly... A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles. But this one, the logo is too deep in murky water. You can't make it out.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on some... Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yes, yes. Crazy recklessness. I'd say it has been... Let's wait for the low tide.
Great idea. The papers. Papers would be cool. Maybe there's registration inside, like a person
I don't know. An hour or two?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under you. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks. The tune on your lips forms a strange, yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surround. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. Then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and the sunken car. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
I'm pretty sure I told you already, didn't I? My dad and mom are both half Seolite.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
Luckily, I am already a member of an independent organization, and therefore do not have to choose between a rock and a hot place.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it...
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices. Yes, 41.
It's as if he knows what it stands for. Or does he know something about that speed racer?
But it could also be the number of
A massive pit opens up in... No. Just no. Say no to this, Harry.
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
The lieutenant just...
There were never any street racers. I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here. Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk. Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off. That is very unlikely. You'd be lucky to find one and well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine. Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean...
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
Well, it isn't. It's you. And people are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn. Yes, let's go take a look.
This is it, the scene of the party. Not as such. I'm talking, looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles.
Looks like it. Hey, let's keep moving.
Some. There's no way to list a pawn shop. A police badge on which you see the photo of a man.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is you see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and the man keeps winking at you with his green. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light.
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
The badge in your hands shines as you.
Lieutenant W. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant, and the title of Yefreitor is added to your rank when you decline. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precincts, and sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current. Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens militia.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last century experimental.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, kings like satellite officers, and the additional you are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you write, no, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, it matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found you.
He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past. Good.
Such a small yet precious.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41. 4 months ago. A new badge usually.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better?
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jam. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be enough.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. He knew all those people. Although the badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Uh-huh. Abigail.
You're not going to get any.
Don't call Abigail!
The man hiccups. He snorts and beckons.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call
The drunk man stops.
Don't you fucking call her! Don't!
There was little chance.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila.
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street gang.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't...
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh?
We are safe. Please! Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. So now, it's you. We've met before.
No, you should.
Aha. Mm-hmm. Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Hey, let's not jump. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the bug. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer.
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, one moment we hear the sound.
Do you?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Followed by a real commotion. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed what we saw was a sight to behold. The time hath come. So, naturally, being the time hath come for Tequila Sunset. Your reality contracts.
The muscles in your hands cramp on the steering wheel.
We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our... We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from... I'm not sure. I think you were the event. Tequila Sunset. You know, yeah, ours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, how they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet Tequila...
If you only knew.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept...
No one...
Abigail! It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had beside your gun and your badge, in retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage. You told us that they were a bunch of...
It's more like...
No specifics, though. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and...
A lot of cops go...
It's not meant as a joke. He's sorry for the hermit cop.
Yeah, you kept talking about how the cold... I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure You kept You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand again. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. It depends, really.
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality... Booze. So, have you got anything for good old idiot? Then I will see you again once you've procured...
All kinds, sir. Beer...
You too.
Good to see you, friend. So what do you want? I've got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I've got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine. Hi. By amphetamine, I mean speed. Sure did, buddy boy. That's why I said amphetamine. I mean speed. I mean Aye. Good, my man. Now what? Oh. The system's been good to old. You see, friend, man makes his own luck. And I bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit.
The hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Of course.
He has long forgotten what you were talking about.
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every... You know, it's funny.
He's finding it difficult to...
What? This guy. Oh, this is... I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to... It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kid... Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after... But the idiots left me alone in there. Like 3 cans of this bloomer... This 2 I already sold to these...
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Feels like someone set up mustard in all fairness.
So, what's the deal, friend? Want the spirits or not? So what do you want?
His tone is aggressive. You're getting on his bad side.
Finally came to your senses, buddy boy. Ain't nobody else gonna give you... Sure, friend. People are just so impatient these days. So that'll be 3 real from your pocket to mine. And at this price, you're practically robbing me. In the civilized world...
A drop chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion as the road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, a tub warm with water. White, number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them. And there's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies. Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying toward. The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands. The scruffy, he watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue. The kids don't reply. The stone-kicking one.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. But the rock kicker was just being.
You're bad with kids. Don't worry, everyone is.
The stone kicker.
He looks just like...
The boy, the rock kicker was just...
You're bad with kids. Maybe I am. Now, how about some actual police work?
The scruffy-haired little boy. The scruffy-haired... You're not sure about the melody, but it might be.
Welcome to the fishing village.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Oh, welcome, police officer.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. No, not you personally. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
You're not. No one.
Maybe there, because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor. Ah, look at me ramble on. What stay? That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. Oh, don't. It's your choice. No skin off my kids grew up and left like they do.
When Varson communist revolutionary Ignace Nielsen was in hiding, he stayed in a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months.
You best not be plotting another revolution under my roof. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room.
Just us. It's barely a village, and this is pretty much a non-place. A gap, a blank spot on the map, just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
The lack of wealth.
It's a cold, cynical smile.
Riddles. Fits.
Sometimes it's it seems to be a common theme these days. Isn't that what people always think when they are lost? Over there, you can find an old military hospital. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans. And now the area is crisscrossed. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. And then there's the drunks. I'm sure you did. Nature keeps them in rotation. A new face pops up every now and then, and an old one disappears and is forgotten. Here, for you, no officer. The only money we have here is...
She nods, rinsing another.
Not much. There's the abandoned church. The door. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here?
So, they don't...
No, we've tried.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep...
Well, there's that music. And now, suspicious looking...
Interesting. You could look into this rock...
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins. An apartment complex. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. No one. That's why it's closed. Now, what catch we do? What? You're one of those real... Used to be a supply depot, we think.
Nothing is...
And now you know everything there is to know about this. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me. Now it's your turn, Mr... Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One, eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Huh, I might be half blind, but it looks... Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing till I know she's on. She's right over there. The dog-head... Yes.
She is not impressed by a cop running errands for a local bigwig. Not at all.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal.
My mom's outside. And I don't really know about my dad. Yes. They look the same. They look identical. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you make up for the skewer you broke.
I don't know. Sure, just go and get it. I don't like it anyway. It looks...
All right. You just need to...
It's Lammy!
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better.
Yes. Lammy has lived a long life. Lammy was a... Yes! Bye! Hello, mister. It's Lammy.
Lambie is a stuffed...
Yes. Very soft. Isn't he soft? It's Lammy.
Lambie is a...
Lammy usually doesn't like straight. It's Lammy.
Lambie is...
Yes.
Press your damn cheek against Lammy, okay?
Isn't he soft? Bye.
The door has seen better.
I'll wait outside after we are done with the day.
The key turns with a satisfying click. The bed is comforting, if... An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap. The water reflects back. You'll be looking like a fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman. The sharp blade chafes against your skin. They feel so smooth. Surprisingly so. The water reflects back. You almost look like a professional.
Yes? Yes. I don't know what to say. Perhaps, No, it's okay, I guess. I may have preferred the mutton chops. They sort of seem to cover the... Either way, good on you. You were saying?
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have an... The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been... The name is Lillian. People call me Netpin.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts.
Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like two odd guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about... Right. Not only snowmen...
Oh, you'll get...
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you look... Aha! Two odd guys have been... I don't really know. Well, how can I assist you then? Oh? Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Where are you? What a nice idea.
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the idea.
That Evrart and the Union have nice plans for anything.
And those members have a vote when electing the...
He has a pen and everything. Here you go. I shouldn't have. Probably, but it is a youth centre and I have children. Got to give them... Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature.
Sound logic. Division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, picnic. I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy... Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea is giving.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
Wood, pieces of bottles, drugs also, lost...
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Well, you're barking under the wrong tree then, officer. Oh? Well, how can I assist you then? Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats... It's a regular mass-produced sword. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I use. What makes you think we haven't? That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us.
That does not go for real men. Coach means the expression.
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then what?
Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. Who knows? Maybe he fell over. He didn't Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so... Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. My life didn't really change that much for me.
This is neither a touchy. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another. Better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Sure is. The Sun, I call her. Unfortunately, the factory guns are expensive and fragile. From time to time, people need a... Sure. Venomosity. Some went to... Gone.
It absolutely...
No. There's nothing to find. He didn't respect the... Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and Us working folk don't have the... Life didn't really change.
This is neither... She looks like she's ready to go on a...
Our tenant, Lillian, should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have that. I've seen it all before. You think they've got our... Then the poor get pushed.
She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. It's really in her best interest to listen to you. You know how the world works.
Cops bribe. Do you know who takes the... Have some integrity.
It's okay. She's emotional right now. You know, there could be another way. You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make a slogan used to intertwine with the loop.
Looks like tomorrow.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how... You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext, young carp, and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08.
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt?
It looks old and weathered.
That's not surprising. Only they started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Felt had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN, and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes some...
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their... All of this was built by Feld, even a boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel, lighting up.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail.
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Officer, I told you this chapter.
The boy looks first at you.
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't.
He means that.
Tape computers. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission send out.
A short-lived legislative foundation.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Riva Shaw on her political... I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in...
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver verm on the cover of the...
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibit.
Wait, he did it. He said, Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Yost?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some... In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you ever... But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write direct...
Made of black film and folding tape strip.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolution... Yes, the official name of the prototype. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. But of course, what else? Sure, what's on your mind? But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed any... I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department... If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then...
Forget it. They don't sell those kind of books.
I do have some...
No.
Oh, no, I don't have it on me. I'm just spending time with my kid here.
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed.
I do some...
Lo Mantang stick fighting is a form of martial art.
Actually, a great many cultures have their own version of...
You doze off. As man, he's good at speaking.
But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying? Then I guess everything got said, right? No, thanks to you for having me in.
Pick your brain, if anything. The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. Dripping water falls. There's rust and corrosion.
No, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me... Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works.
Someone has left the cloth, if you can still call it. It's streaked with... It seems likely that it was.
Please tell me you're not. It's a guano-encrusted jacket.
The smell. It's awful, and it doesn't help. You can still. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. Something. The signs of decaying meat. The lieutenant.
Eyes up, detective.
There's some tear. Two empty bottles. No, there's more in there.
A tragedy.
He shakes his head with genuine. Whoever tossed it. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra. You see traces of mayonnaise. It's hard to concentrate in. A man lies on the. Half of his body has slipped between. The smell is. No.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced.
Calm now. Careful. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers. The leather jacket suits him well. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library.
Good. We should take a look at that.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. His expression is dull, like the sea behind. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. A dried chunk of blood.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your. You see waves churning below. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that. A .75 liter to.
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green, the blackness of death confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is.
He ate the whole pack. I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario.
The entire boardwalk.
Looks like one of the locals. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think? And he was married. But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we... Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly... No, I don't see anything...
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not?
Oh yes, some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not... What about it? The deceased...
Sometimes a kebab is just a...
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone... It does seem to be a pretty... From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify... Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from...
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40, the youth center cuts into... It's going to be awfully close to the already...
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine.
How else are you going to build something? There is no loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their life...
Of course, I should have seen it. Eval probably has eyes on us.
He won't say it outright, but...
Forgery, yes. It would render the document invalid. It's not the sort of act I would normally encourage, but under the circumstance.
Or you could try to trick Everard. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will already be concluded. The library card. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio. Most of these titles. Whoever owns this card is at most of these titles. If lost, please return the card to the library.
Good. We should give the...
Good idea. There's no way a pawn shop. Metal paper. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still. This feels end of tone.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
Say you're not Pierre. That seems like a better idea. You don't know why.
Do you have any news about Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to us. This is because I just so wanted to...
Disconnect tone. Calling. Still someone.
Hello, Gerard.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, no. What you are is a surprise. Get his wife on the phone.
Who is this? Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? Very funny, asshole.
Phone. Disconnect tone. The bow collector. It's early in the morning. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut. Nothing happened. High above, the wind wraps the church in its rush, cold and wet from the ocean bay. It parts around them.
There is...
The lieutenant looks at the padlock. He didn't hear you asking. The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church. The surface feels exceptional. 300 tons of pine would fit together. This cheap-looking, it'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. It's the contrast between the cheery, chemical yellow and the rigor mortis. He takes off his...
No. Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests Junior. For Revach Stolzed aussi, the moral intern, these acts aren't called crimes as they would be for adults. Crimes committed by minors. I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth. That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my...
The padlock passes through a staple that's... Should you want to get through, it...
Maybe we should circle the building first and look for...
There is a touch of guilt.
Yes, the pulsing base. A sure sign of junior delinquency.
There's something on the sea ice there. There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. Looks like today was a gold star day. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Correct. The density of the... Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some...
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them. A dozen at least, 10 meters away. Other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles. A long time has passed. The abundance of bullet holes leads to 2 options. Either an inordinate amount of execution, a host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall, 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic. The commandant, the one who gives the order.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have... Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or...
Remember what Trent Heidelstein said about Veld?
Another likely scenario.
Or maybe...
Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commander.
A cold sea. A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall. With another 7 shades, a cold There's a cylinder on the ground.
Who's there?
His self-conscious enthusiasm.
Is that... Don't worry, Gary. To what do I owe?
That's sarcasm. He takes...
Oh, no. It's all right. Yeah, of course. Thank you for passing along.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult to pass. Not like walking over a nice waterlock.
Oh, good.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go.
Sir.
I just have to do one more round.
His hands are large and weather-worn.
Which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying... Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, and I suspect it may have also developed other specialized tech. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical, but I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they... I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species...
Seems puny, to be honest.
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid. Very little, I'm sorry to say. Not yet.
Just out of...
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the fact...
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to... Yes, the most recent... It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual... I have to resist the thought. Such an
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species.
Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena... Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution. Locusts. Nearly all known.
Inside the traps, a meat-eating stick insect. Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of...
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material. They'll work, I assure you.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear that...
Yes. What? And I'm eager to return to her. My wife understands that.
Come on, Morel.
And leave the traps? Absolutely.
Come on. She wants us back.
Won't let Lena down. Sounds like the cryptozoa.
Of course it's important to her.
She's seen it?
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another. Suffice to say, It's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. No, no, no.
I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require... There are 4 in total. One is to the... Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. The third is set near the canal. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this? Is it?
Bring it to me at once.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the...
That's highly unlikely, officer. But it's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite wise choice.
This is the smell of dying.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the...
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50.
Right, which means you took...
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that...
Finally!
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp.
If it's more cryptid related. But what if the information is vital? What about his eager-to-leave friend Gary there? Talk to him too.
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone... My methods do not differ from other... No, as I...
Interesting. Something for later.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to trade through the mud every so often. Everything from forgotten...
He's interested in things that people believe.
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration. No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered. Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of 2 are categorized as confirmed. Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be... We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are... In fact, it is naught...
He has clearly done his math on this. There is...
Yes? All right. What...
We would have to discuss. He wants to... You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
A willow person.
Willow people? Not...
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals. As they seem to have evolved direct. They're very, very thin. Almost flat, in fact. And can camouflage themselves easily. Wrapping themselves around. You probably have... Gary and I painted an entire grove after waiting in hiding. I chased it with a net. Not very...
A lavender...
I know you think we were snacking on funny... Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting.
He makes it a real point here to sound...
Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standard... No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. Me? I'm not a people...
This is a gruff man who's been ridiculed too many times to feel comfortable talking about what's...
By all means.
Hello, I'm Gary. Yellow Man.
The lieutenant raises... Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask...
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return... I like nature, just not...
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I've been tempted on occasion, but...
He pronounces Revacon with a hard K, unlike other people.
I like to pronounce it the hard way.
He winks at you. It's a secret right. A very fringe nationalist.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in...
So you do...
No. Nothing. he was some kind of mercenary. But everyone...
He's not feeling very comfy. He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
My mug?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug. He's seen it before, all right.
Oh, no, that's not... Why would I be calling to a broken mug? Okay, okay, I admit, you're not going to find me, are you? Okay, I don't know what got into me.
What did you do?
Nothing. Nothing. Just answering some... I know a guy who works with the trash collection service, so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. I'm sorry, okay?
Disgraced. No need.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Officer, please. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him. Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trap. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I...
Right. It was...
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads.
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff.
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds and...
What? I haven't the slightest.
Every day, the wind shifts...
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know...
An infant could see he's not telling. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely.
I hope I could help your investigation.
Wait, does this mean you've been in his apartment? on Everart's behalf. That was his colonial mug collection. Perhaps this could soften him up further.
No. I help.
There probably is a follow-up to this, but you can't think of any. Does it?
Not many Sealites here.
Do you remember how when we met Measurehead and I said the next racist will be a really good one? Well, this is that racist.
Hey, man, all I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. No problem at all. Not many Seal.
Do you remember how when we met? At any rate, this is our third lucky raid.
Hey, man, all I meant was... Oh, yes, of course he is. I was just speaking about...
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the button. No. Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I was ashamed of what I did. And
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary, what's going... Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to...
No, you've got explaining to do.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes, but so light to hold, like a bag.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and So I went there to take out the trash, and only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in...
We're detecting sincere contrition.
It's okay. It was a loose...
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Sealite officers...
They were thoroughly conservative men.
Because I was weak.
The hell, Gary?
I'll explain later. I always thought it was the Union. Some Union hardasses. Lynched him because...
This is all he knows.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
In my home. Yes. When I was going to... How did you know? Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment? So you work for Everard Clare? What have I done? He'll...
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
I was probably talking too... I won't do it again. If there's anything I can...
This scared him proper.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be entered.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door.
Sir. Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not...
Thanks.
He's still glad his friend stood up for him.
Always a... I mean, officer...
trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like behind you, a ruined. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. I meant no offense, just...
The old woman, the buzz of electric. There's a gap where the name of that.
Yes, my suggestion is don't. Don't go any older than you already are. A lullaby my mother used to sing. I sang it to my kid. Surrender.
That's kind of grim for a children's song, even if it is a lullaby.
Yes, it does.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can.
A familiar apparatus. The reeds bend, the constant distance. This trap is also full of.
Another empty trap. Of course. No.
Everything.
The speaker. You should go over and ask him about paying for those sneakers.
You keep.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with.
The shine on.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask. The warn. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I'm afraid they're closed.
We should try.
Anything else, Detective? One moment. Can you please describe the body?
We suspect he might.
Any signs of violence? No field de top.
You can hear her.
What about his belongings? Any information on the library card? Good. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want... I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57's open.
In the cabin, you see a metallic pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. As you tap on the gate,
No, that's him.
It's you again. What is it?
behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window.
Goodness.
He's fine, ma'am. As we had...
Oh, yes. But I am so...
You haven't, however. There are days... Now maybe she'll open up about those...
Oh, you don't want to hear about...
Reflexively.
Well, it was summer. I was building a... I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.
Betoncourt.
The strangest moment of my life. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm. I tried, but I was only a child. I ran back home to my grandmother, and for years it was a story I told at party. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen it. Our first.
The sigh is tender. The sun...
Not all of them, as far as I remember. It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. Of course. I've thought about it. But so how did I know what to imagine? You trying to tell us you saw the Insul Indian phasmid?
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too...
Oh, I'd be
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This one...
He nods and assumes... Ooh, tough choice there.
Yes. It's the kind green ape. Half-wart. Yes, it was reported by soldiers. Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids, which is to say the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own.
The lieutenant...
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that Saelites are...
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
The lieutenant...
fuck it.
Well, the biggest, the giant, lives in the most arid parts. Mirage or psychogenous luminance. No one knows for sure. It is like an... The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad...
No.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species survive. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism and ecosystem...
Gravity anomaly? digging it.
Cryobacter catlensis. Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered. The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting her. Yes.
It's actually a little hard to see, but do go on.
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for the gnome of Jeroma. Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. It was reportedly a small creature. A couple of campers found it when it was all. It still took.
If the body of the creature was found.
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. What an interesting question.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in. Okay, I won't spoil it.
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sleep.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as.
Yes, that's another. Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mama d'Aqua makes, or rather is, such a high.
Fine, I'll bite.
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny. It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what. They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Col de Mama d'Aqua. They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Sequester, Time, Joscan. Those are but some of the Mama d'Aqua. That is a sad story. A group of they tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound.
Psst. They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were performed. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere.
Of course.
I'm glad you did, dear. What about what? I'm glad you like them. But
you know...
Of course, officers. I'm glad you like them.
Can I help you? What is this thing? What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice... I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess? So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
I feel good.
It's not actually about that, but he liked it.
You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked.
You see a heavy... The door is closed. Still... The bed is still cold from... A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The window stands broken in its frame. You see some lights shimmer. The bed is still cold from... It's not easy, but your bones are so tired from what feel like weeks of...
Thoughts, baby.
little lights in the...
Recorded in you forever on ferrotape.
No, you're spinning tapes at the discotheque. The great unceasing disco of the mind. The flash, the bang, the endless learning experience. On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco...
Behold, there are millions of...
It's the world, Harry boy. And you're made of it. You can never forget this shit.
All stop.
You're the son of the world again.
Reading your awful letters and recalling...
It's too late. You're not...
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names.
He's got no idea.
'Cause only love can break your heart. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Do it for the wind. Rise and shine, comrade, despite all the thinking you've been doing. Only 0.0001% of communism has been built. Your level of personal, you must seek out your revolution, but it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise, possibly. If regardless, what's past is just between us. You may want to lay off this, grind up the bourgeoisie stuff. It's a let your nose guide you. Yes, we really have no idea what they're talking of. Failure. That's why you're perfect. What you're smelling is your own. People sometimes complain there are no real communists. Incidentally, during the waning days of the anti-centennial revolution, a number of... First, you'll have to locate the room. Again, no, it won't. Any olfactory risk. You'll discuss the monumental world historical task that lies before you. You'll engage in rigorous and spirited debate. Not at all. Complain. Here we go. The door is closed. This door can only be opened with...
Yes? What is... it means I'm a patroller.
What was with that, sir?
Well, I guess
Cut the shit. Every second you stand here running your mouth, the case grows... Again?
Yes?
The lieutenant is fastidious as a cat in matters... Wait. There's the lieutenant's aftershave, a common drugstore brand. Strong hints, but what sort of idea?
Do you need something, detective? It's nothing fan. I do like the way it tingled. Was there something else you wish?
The lieutenant is... Wait. The lieutenant's after... But what sort of...
Do you need something, detective? I do like to. Sort of like how hanging around the liquor store hasn't made you in. You're right. Was there something else you...
Hey.
Well. Bringing it...
Got the 20 real? Then why are you wasting...
Oh, hello, dear.
Wait. No. Something about they are, but they don't. No, they don't. Glenn seems to be contemplating grievous in the far. And from his sides, you're pretty sure they consider themselves. The man ponders his cooking. You see a heavy step.
I've got nothing.
It's you again. What is it?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn. All around you, the spring thaw, looking up at the sky. Cold, grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on your shirt. You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat. Sheets of rain over the ruins of a half-sunken, the skyscrapers of La Delta, urban coastline, rain dripping off Etonite-covered roofs. Cinder blocks left over from half Coal City, end of all line. There's a fleet on the corner, a plastic cup. The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor is an artificial La Drusienne, King Dries passenger harbor. Couron, the lower middle class, distributary after a silvery curtain. You have never been. Tower blocks crowd one. Hallways collapse from the morning. A yard. Rain, a traffic jam. Rain, the road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns.
I've a brother in the cut. Where the wood at?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point, standing in the rain, looking in the rain-swept distance, your vision blurs. You wipe your face. Coalition-era statics hang like
This rain will not let up anytime soon. I'd recommend you put on your coat.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from.
Fuck does Kuno doesn't.
looking for...
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The tear machine. Your bottles clunk into the machine. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Sambat. A colorful display.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
Winter, slow to let go of. The snow fall, and to think the melting snow seeps through your thin cloak. More wine. The waters turn black. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the below the old mines. Loser, where the Philippian kings were children under 14. They go underground. After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, 2 kilometers underground. The mausoleum few patira return from the shafts. All around her, white snow on the canal you crossed to get here. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield. Like all monuments, it's a fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a clean white light. The abandoned church, a serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the remains of a camp. Further out, the lights burn. Then there's Ozon, the Bay of Revachol. Vastness, great depth, and at the farthest, more coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly. The raised motorway was once a park. The pox is heavy drug users do slip through, and a line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched around you. The snow continues. The stairs descend to Central Jamrock. A man named Snow falls on the utility district. All of this built around a lake that formed in a chill comes over you, crawling down layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with it. Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up.
Oh. Hello.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't.
So should you. Oh. I didn't notice that. Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat. I'm sorry I said fuck. My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me. A cell.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing.
Why? Okay, it's Burger. This is a portable record, actually just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came. A contact mic records sounds from...
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike. No. You're welcome.
Yeah, I record stuff with it. No. This is a contact microphone. It's for recording inside solid objects. The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum. Oh man, you haven't been to the Palaceum? It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum going kind of... I don't know what that means either. That's cool. Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps?
An entire litany spews forth.
Man, you are one weird cop. What is it with you and this mic? Okay, if it floats your boat, I'll be more like Contact Mike and less like me. I'll keep that in mind for future use. Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the eye.
What happened to the old headphones?
My boyfriend's... I don't know, man. Things.
A lie. They were probably pawned off.
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizer.
The sharp drop in endorphins is almost visible, like a warm blanket has fallen off her shoulders.
Take this, you're cold.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat. Thanks. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum.
And who are these?
Yeah, Andre.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room. Music stuff, mostly. Like this tape recorder. Yep, they were pretty. That stuff is more expensive than I am.
It's probably amphetamine. It makes you feel...
I got my recordings to do. I feel better outside. That? The boys think it could...
And who are these?
Yeah.
And why is... She looks back at her tape recorder.
Go ahead.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron. She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup. The wind howl. It's real. Tell her.
What is? I can't believe this turned into another mic thing. So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. Come on, I can tell. But okay. What is it? Oh, really? So, the thing that's been eating you is the slow pace of social... Okay. So you're not... Uh-huh. And you're sure it's social progress you're distressed about? Okay. Why'd you think that? Wow, man. That's pretty... Okay. What else? There you have it then. Chick trouble. Really? You seem to be pretty Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective... Man, when I get hurt, I just want to forget that shit, you know? Yeah. Or it might...
It's obvious she's done.
Or it might just be some psych book. You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people... You're welcome.
Yes, but it itches.
It's supposed to become like a club, except that...
The floorboards are twisting, and the shooting beams are slowly... There will never... Not in a million years.
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments. Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity. I know. It's not my idea. Andre... Hey, don't get me wrong, but your cops... Okay, well... Maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys. They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else? No. Not really, no.
She's trying to get out of a direct lie with semantic trick.
Yeah, you know. That's what I meant. Noid did. Noid put the padlock on the door. Yeah, I guess you could say. To keep more weirdos from getting in. Fucking Martinez. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay. Bye.
A pain of Etonite has been planted into the barely holding it up. It could fall.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be
The pain falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk. The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is...
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. Sorry, we barely have...
You go ahead. I'm sure you will feel right at home.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush.
Hello, I'm Andre.
His grip is strong.
This is my posse, Noid. And...
The young man with earrings look...
Egg! Together with a Cell Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously... We have many in a...
That means...
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the realest...
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues. Which brings me to the problem of Occupy I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating.
Dopheads.
Burnouts. Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad,
strike that!
And sadder yet, because...
He leans back a little, watching you. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
The spooky kind. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say... Also, they don't... People just want to spin tapes without... Thank you. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm... All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously.
Oh, so I did ask Noy to install a measure against more... I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work. Of course. All right.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object, ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you. The speed freak nods to...
Not long. Like a week, maybe. I'm super sure they're alive. I mean...
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here.
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, I don't know. Oh, yeah. I knew you'd get it. You're...
He nods attentively, ready to answer.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. The truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. Well, when I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned. One of them has wires running into both. Andre! Oh, and it felt like there was something in there. No! Which other? Felt like silence. Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. Like, you aren't alone. It wasn't quite...
Not human.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along... Yeah, you know. It was stalking us.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it.
So he hasn't even been in there.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably very like... Well, honestly, I can't.
This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize it.
Hey now, I'm 70%. Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from? Sure. What? Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding...
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know? I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very... And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. Totally. The Pericarnassian Church is about love. And love is hard. Unity. Unity. Make some noise for my Insulindian...
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base.
Your posse's like your people, man. Like you...
And where is your posse, detective? Nothing comes to you.
Are we? Yeah! Oh yeah! He's coming around. You're getting it.
Feels good.
That's pretty downbeat. I think I speak for all of us when I say we expect... Yeah.
The one with the large head is still...
Yes. What? Yeah, yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scattered the... oh, it's the one they said...
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's...
It does, doesn't it? Told you we have a smell problem. Ether? I... No.
He sniffs. A shrug is good enough for us. Why say it when you can shrug it?
The what now? Oh, the old...
He's like an actor.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all... Yes. That's all... No, Safed is... Yes. What?
He nods enthusiastically. No doubt, a little relieved. Well, first, the gist of it is they wanted plus, and it has to be considered.
As always...
Mazovian socioeconomics. 0.000% of a young man with peroxide.
Hardcore! Hardcore!
Omega, internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yakokata.
Yekokata is an abbreviation from an intricate system of Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss. It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your. Yeah, gotta compare. I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronise a sticker.
Interesting. He wants you to describe it, though he already knows what it looks like.
Good, good. What did you want to know? Yes, you're the 23rd person to get it right, and I've asked 23 people. Looks like it, really. We're all the same. So he defeated history. We are living in the age of history, and in the eyes of history, we are always already dead. How can we ever... The present moment and life are the hardcore. Or maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just really ecstatic. Yeah, that interpretation. Simplicity was brought to us by a classical solar... Well, hardcore is not tasteful or outwardly homo. The sticker, the clothes, not alone. Many people are thinking the same thing right now. We all see the same, so I guess one could write an entire treatise on the thing. Nah. You heard me. Weird stuff. Special wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign.
The People's Republic of Samara is a product of Revachel's sister revolution on the Grand Isola. It's known as a severely degenerated rogue state.
I know, man. I was just talking about the aspect. Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be. Most of it doesn't exist. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders, The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric.
The young man.
This is hardcore. It's hardcore! Skibbity, skip.
The shaggy head.
So you talked to my associates, right? Great. Let us... Oh, that.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the...
Okay. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that.
Like a crab, you say?
It was too dark.
Come on, she obviously could.
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff.
A crab?
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it's... I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't believe me either. I'm surprised Noid did. My associates? I haven't got much to say. Sorry. I just don't tell people about...
To the cops.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
A silver bird. Feels strangely familiar. Was it an
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
than twice. The lock turned.
Let's go.
A great whoosh of air in the heart of the city. The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting, maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent. And then it's gone. Almost all of it. You can hardly hear your own breathing. Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even. The lieutenant points to...
Can you hear anything? The church just has strange acoustics.
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous act. He doesn't seem entirely convinced, though. The lieutenant...
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the...
Maybe the church was designed this way to... The lieutenant doesn't reply. The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear. It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you. Yes, the darkness makes the ceiling. It's not a shadow anymore.
Officer, is there something up there?
Oh no. You've lost. You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. The shadow is a man, the crab man. The man leaned forward.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamro. There's a sizable... Hold on. Stop it right there. Pussy? What?
You really got a case of frayed nerves. Chill out, man. Here you could receive the mother's...
This man is up...
Hey, and what was that about? The bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already.
Oh, yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over. Not all of it. I was like you.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
The only thing we need to talk about, this is the church of the...
You have no idea what the fuck... Whatever it is, 'tis not an act, my liege. Save him perchance, he hath deceived his...
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it. I always thought of myself more like a flame. I was in a gang way, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. That's not really the point.
Do you remember your...
Tiago's my name. But those syllables don't mean your place amongst your fellas. Your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that. This is a special place. There's a perforation. I circled it. Nurtured by the silence bestowed. Oh, she is a cavity in the dark, beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes. And no one ever will. I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the...
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith.
Too gleeful, those words. He is lying. Not to you. To...
I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last... She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. The mother will eat all of you. And never... I know it will take time. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I ain't from no
Marietti is a mesque style of music and dance, commonly seen at all manner of festivities. He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve.
Hard to say. I think I did some construct. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is...
The sinewy figure lingers on the...
Police raid.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The ones in the tent outside? Right? Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't... Why not? They wouldn't bother me. Might even be nice to have some company. Other spooker?
Oh. The Aita is... Grandma?
No. I just call her Viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe that's what I said, Holmes. Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer. I'm afraid not, as...
Or search through her radio computer. Guillaume Le Million. Bad news. Guillaume Le...
Another radio computer. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream. The Ream Prefect is the governmental version of the commonly used Ream Civic. You see, fluorescent, the lieutenant says nothing. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark. Another filament memory. The speaker comes to life.
Good morning, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the...
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer.
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Good.
Let's look around. Maybe he knows something.
No.
The hint system is not part of the protocol.
Still, no. I am
I'm afraid we are...
Now, can you receive Fortress Accident? Is there... I have two machines.
Saint-Brune. That's the church. And Rue de...
Anything else I can help you with? Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated. Nothing happens.
Oh, hey, Way.
Coffee in the back. Something...
Too many times.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information. especially in the name of public.
Don't sweat it, Vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity. Look, man, I'm at liberty to talk about the sacred blade. I think we're done here, essay.
That was, however.
The machine's keyboard, the speaker.
Good morning. Good. Click good. I have unlocked the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Goodbye.
The machine's keyboard is still. The printer prints out a long text document with the first entry made on the 4th. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the lieutenant leans closer.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place. That the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's at 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others, but at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers, I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it
Seems like something to do with something about the backup data getting destroyed. And however, I think these people worked in the radio computer games business.
12th of February, 51.
The strike. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that...
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to...
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real, and I'm not...
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise that disco man must be a cell.
The girl on the ice?
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part...
I knew it wasn't a good idea.
No. It was a great idea. March 51. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Yes, you are breaking in.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
There are no coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network. That's nonsense. You're just a police officer. Now please give me some rules.
We should talk to her.
What is it? No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper. Yes. Or...
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before...
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know...
That still doesn't answer what she's doing in an abandoned...
No. Yes. And... I don't care. I don't care about crapmen. I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. I use the AR-1 as my RAIM prefix processing unit. Mm-hmm. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations on the front. The unified front of radio waves. It's all around us.
Like love.
I guess it is. So far, I've been quite satisfied with, but it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it anyway. You should do some research before you decide to buy anything. As I'm working.
The machine seems almost...
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point? I really need to... So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly. No, I don't. Because I needed something good for mine. Besides, owning a range...
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see...
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for... Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as RAIM 6. They are connected to my RAIM Prefect.
Short and terse. There you have it.
Great. You really like those questions, don't you? I'm conducting scientific research. I'm looking for the location.
Wait. She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might... Exactly. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. You measure it by its surroundings. By that...
Ha! Hydrotransducers. So that's what those water basins...
But honestly, it's not progressing very well. Somewhere underneath those roof beams,
Only a faint crisscross of rafters.
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all...
The Pillar of Silence?
Maybe. But it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data. I know. No, I don't. Because it's just trial and error. Trying to locate the swallow, and I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and... Great. Thanks. The swallow, you mean? What? Great. Thanks. What?
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Yeah. Like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with... Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it. But to a sober mind, it just sounds... This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? Take a guess, why don't you? I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming...
Good luck. I'm not coming in.
Yes, what is it?
In white, silver, and apricot faience. This is her innocence cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. The world is silent. The ocean feels distant. The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers. She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. As that terrible word passes through you, your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Human... It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago.
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted.
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever. The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment, more. An innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? No, we are alone. 300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an infant. Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court. A court visited by the most prominent thing. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the speech. It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised, bystanders reported gold. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cult, as did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far in a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper, Messina, she was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attack, one of the men in this secret service killed her, 22, something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man thought to be this inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well. Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged. Although she's often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, she was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal. For the camp, the Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic, as suggesting those who fight against it. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger, and little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce this subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5. What are you thinking of, if I may ask? She's been dead for 3. None of this is, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light.
Yes, we all are. Her name, it's not spiritual, it's constitution.
The mother of
Yes?
An old door, wind has blown.
It's military. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast.
This track, the reeds sway. The wind picks nothing but locusts.
Empty as all of that. No, I'm fine.
Nothing's changed.